UPR, UPR. Six Park Rangers are on the up and up. UPR, UPR. Now we're heading for European Cup.
Welcome back to the QPR podcast. To everyone that listened to us last week, thank you for doing that. It was a hard one to do, I'm sure, for the boys, but they did their best. And many thanks as well to Lee Hughes for coming on and trying to explain what he could. Obviously, he couldn't answer all the questions. You wouldn't expect him to. We're doing an appeal. That's that done with. Right, tonight I'm joined with three other QPR fans. There's myself, Paul Finney, otherwise known as Binlid. There's Mark Dugan.
How you doing?
There's Cindy Grohl.
Good evening.
Who's a season ticket holder in... Oh, that's what we should do. Say what we said. What did you say?
Not again. We did that last time.
I liked it. I'm repetitive.
Okay. LU, row F, seat 110.
Yeah, maybe not that much. What about you said?
I sit at the very back row of the P block. Originators right here.
And we have Gemma through Megami.
Origami. Fumigali. Yes, hi.
All right, I'm sorry. Does everyone get you? It must be really annoying because it's not that hard to get right, but it's just...
No, it's really difficult to get right.
Is it? Where does it originate from, if you don't mind me saying so?
Many generations ago, nothing to do with me, Italy.
All right, and what was your maiden name, if you don't mind me asking?
Gauger, much better. Lager with a G. Lager with a G. That's all I ever needed to say.
Do you know what? That explains so much about you.
It probably does.
It really does. I've been drinking with Gemma a few times, and really you have to be there to understand that, Gemma. I tell you what, Ben Godsell. Come on, everyone, get your glasses together. Thank you for our beers today, big fella. Yeah, there you go. Thank you for doing that. You can also do it anytime you want. We really appreciate your support. Thank you. Right. We only went to fucking one, didn't we? I mean, I have got something to say to Cindy that you know what's coming.
I do.
We saw the team thing on Saturday, and I was like, cousins, wing back rule. It's been out for so long. Well, this is madness. He's tinkering again. Eat me words.
I don't think you were quite as calm as that, I have to say, Paul, when you were making that comment on Saturday. Perhaps you'd like to play out exactly how you said it on Saturday.
No. No. I think what I said is fine. So anyway, I apologise to Ian Holloway, Mark Bircham, and all the coaching staff. I'm clearly an idiot, and I'm eating my words, and well done. I mean, how good was that Saturday? Gemma, how did you see it?
God, it was
You
brilliant.
must have had a good view from where you sit.
I had
as
a
well.
very good view.
Where do you sit, Gemma? Because Paul forgot to ask you
Yes,
that.
I sit in the upper loft. What was for me was amazing was that as just before the kickoff, I turned around to Stu, who sits behind me, and said, "I haven't for one nanosecond thought we'll win this game." Because normally I have wake up on a Saturday, a bit of optimism. I think, "Oh, we can do this," and then the normal situation occurs. And so I wasn't looking forward to it, and I didn't think
At least you're honest.
that we would win at all. And I enjoyed the game immensely. I mean, I really enjoyed it, and it was brilliant. I was on a complete high at the end, really, with just the performance and the guts and trying. And I reckon that, I mean, jumping ahead, but I think Wolves probably just turned up and thought this isn't going to be difficult for us. Because they played, was it Man City they played and held and on
somebody said,
and they'd done very well against Man City, and they thought, oh, it's only QPR, how hard can it be? And they couldn't even win the last two games.
They were very arrogant before the game in the pubs and stuff, which is a bit weird. I mean, I've got nothing against Wolves. I mean, they've been as crap as we have for years, and I don't understand this newfound arrogance that they seem to have got. But it's nice, I'm sure they'll enjoy being in the Premier League with their half-and-half scarves of West Brom on the Derby day.
I thought it was interesting when walking down Uxbridge Road before the game, and they were all singing.
They led into a song.
They were all singing "London's a shithole. We want to go home," and I thought Wolverhampton. I don't know it, but maybe. Is it really nice up there? I didn't know that Wolverhampton was a holiday destination.
It's lovely, apart from that subway where they used to ambush you after the games.
Do you remember that on New Year's Eve? My God.
Yeah,
yes.
they've got this horrible subway you go down and you take your life in your hands. Honestly, it's not right anyway. But I wouldn't say... But that's not as bad as the Arsenal fans who played a few years ago, because I was behind them and they were singing, QPR's a shithole, I want to go home. And I went, it doesn't exist. As a place, it doesn't exist. I don't know why you're singing that song.
They struggle.
And they just looked at me blankly. I went, you mean to sing either Shepherd's Bush, White City? You could even go down to Notting Hill if you want to do that sort of local area kind of geography. But QPR as a region don't exist. So there's a wee bit of advice for you. trying to help them.
Well, you could argue
But
that
I think
Queen's
you were-
Park
They just
exists.
told me to feck off. I was being helpful. I was being like the tourist guide that we all want when we go somewhere we don't
Yes.
know. I was trying to be that tourist guide as well as
To Arsenal supporters.
Yeah, I know.
But I think you're right. I think Wolves fans and team probably were feeling quite arrogant and confident coming into that game, given.
We beat them last year for a start.
Yes.
Mark, how
We
did
need-
you see the game?
No, great. I mean, I enjoyed it immensely. I mean, I think what made it better was the fact we did score with 10 minutes to go. And it sort of, the crowd with them sort of willing the team on. And at the end, it was just such a huge relief to get the 3 points that we were desperate. We were desperate for the 3 points and just the relief at the end of the game. And I mean, the team were great, especially second half. We took the game to them totally. I mean, I thought, we're so much more creative this season compared to last season. And if you can't see the improvement in the players and the squad, and especially the creativity we're now showing going forward, if you can't see the difference between the Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank team and the Ian Holloway team now, I don't know what game you're watching,
The
to be honest
fitness
with
has
you.
improved, I think, noticeably. I mean, which is Bertram said that at the live pod, didn't he? That the one thing we would all see from Ollie when he'd had pre-season was that there would be a fitter team, and I think that made a massive difference on Saturday.
You've got into an issue there, which I was going to address somewhere along the podcast, is that we did the Lee Hughes thing, which I went into the intro, and we got a fair bit of flack. And people are welcome to give us flack. I've got
Flag for what?
for having Lee Hughes on. He didn't really say anything that was inspiring or all that.
Ridiculous.
Like,
What could he say?
How
then?
could he
He
say
couldn't
was a
anything?
good appeal, but then from our point of view, I wasn't involved last week. I was in Madrid with a stroppy teenager.
Much more preferable, obviously.
I saw a shopping centre in Madrid. Really, that's all I've seen. Anyway, that was another story. Good luck with your
Digress.
16-year-olds, people. We're in a no-win situation because if we didn't have Leon and we were offered to him, they'd be saying, you don't want the fans to know what's going on. You are trying to make out your voice to QPR. You know that. So we got him on. He had a chat. He told us as much as he could. We're in appeal. But the main thing I took away from that is that nowhere in that interview did he say the club was in danger. To me, that's the most important thing. Even if the league relegates us, which God forbid they won't, if they dock us points, God forbid they won't, we can't pay the fine. The main thing is how we come out of this, the club exists. That's got to be the main thing of FFP.
The main thing I took away from it was the fact that he's such a cool head in a time of,
And it wasn't his fault.
It's not his fault. It's just, he's come in, he's had to halve the wage bill, then halve it again. He's had to deal with, the fans' expectations. He has to deal with a lot of that as well. And he's such a cool head, and he's exactly what we need right now. And without sort of being able to say it, they're going for a smaller fine. They're going to tie it up in the courts for a couple of years. Without saying it, I think that's what he was meant to be saying.
But that's how they're budgeted for it anyways.
We're not going to get fined 50 million pounds.
We don't know
We're not.
that.
I don't think we are. The biggest fine ever in sports was £32 million to McLaren F1. They're not going to find little QPR 50 or however much. It's not going to happen.
The bigger problem is the points, actually, in a way, in that the fine will be. It's if they then dock us points, which then sends us down. That's
going to be
that's the bigger worry, actually,
than the money. He was very measured, I thought, last week, and I think, as you say, he kept a cool head. And he I guess it was a sense of trying to sort of convey the confidence that he feels. We kind of know what we're doing here, guys. Just bear with us. We're in control. We know what we're doing. And I kind of I feel like the same as Gemma. My fear is whether it's about what the Football League will do, because whether they've got it in for us, whether we're going to we go through that whole conspiracy theory about whether they the Ali Fall-in thing, and whether that was going through my mind last week, and I thought, oh God, not again. So that worries me more than the money.
And setting the example.
They want to be able to showcase someone.
I mean, the thing
how
is,
wonderful be us.
Going back to the thing is, the rules were there. I think they were quite flawed myself. I mean,
the fact they've changed them shows they know
Exactly.
they were flawed, which
And-
I guess will be the major legal argument.
Yeah.
But the argument is we accepted the rules when we went into the league and we played it down. And the board, I was told, I don't know, that you be aware of it in your board meetings every quarter, every how often you get them, because you have a financial update, and the Football League will also help you out in anything you didn't know. But the rules are so bad, as Gemma said, they changed them. So that's possibly maybe our big argument as well. But the thing is, if anyone was going to spectacularly get promotion on a Bobby Zamora last-minute goal and win it against a completely other play and get them spectacularly relegated, we're going to get spectacularly fined. It's just QPR. It's not your average. Go up, enjoy yourself, wave your flags, go to the Premier League, go and view the half and half scarves and all that malarkey, and then come down. No, there's a kick in the arse 2 hours later on. And it's just 2 years, not hours. Whatever. Anyway, and the whole thing about QPR is it's so us. I remember years ago when we got taken over by Briatore and Eccleston and all that, thinking if anyone can waste billions, we will do it spectacularly well, because it just the whole culture of the club. Now, what I was going to ask, I'll go to you, Mark. Could this, in some ways, bring us back to earth and bring us back to what the community and QPR should be?
Well, we've got no choice. Fair enough.
Yes, it will.
We've got no choice at this point. We have to. We're working on a shoestring budget now. We have to going to develop our players, bring in young players, bring in bargains, free transfers. But the scouting team is now in place. We have to trust them. And it's working so far. Ollie's changed the midfield around totally. You've got Freeman. Luongo's a different player this season, and Scowen is what a great find. He was a lovely little footballer. And, we just have to trust him that he's able then to go and sort of change the defence around and maybe find us a striker from somewhere. But.
And the main thing is to keep hold. My big thing now, I think actually, for me, when I first heard about the FFP, I thought, oh God, 2 years now of indecision, the unknown, not knowing what's going to happen. But actually, once I got my head around it, I think it's a helpful thing in a way, because there's no discussion to be had about buying strikers or going out and buying squads anymore. So nobody can have those conversations because there's no money, and we know we can't do it. So then everybody is in the same boat of accepting we have to manage what we have. So then I moved on to next, find something to worry about. I'll worry about whether we can keep Smithies, who incidentally, sidetrack, did anyone notice how much he was organising? There was so much yellow. He was spreading, and constantly he was referring to formations, and he seemed very managerial on the pitch.
That's a good point, actually.
Which I've never ever seen him do in a game before.
I think they've all had to kick up the backside in being more verbal, because I noticed a lot on Saturday.
They were definitely
not more. Sky was amazing, brother. But we'll go on to the game in a wee second. We'll finish with FFP. I don't want to talk about this all night because people get bored of it. We did it last week. You work in that sector in life for a big company, Cindy.
Yes.
And you know that...
It's always so scary when he says this.
No, that's fine. And you've been at Rangers since the 70s, and you've seen the Gregory years, you've seen the Bulstrode years. Someone said the best chairman we had on Twitter the other day was Richard Thompson, which kind of took me back a little bit, because I was a bit surprised by that, because I thought, okay,
I don't think I remember that as being the best chairman, but that's an interesting...
I printed the leaflets that had Thompson.
I was going to say, my memories of Thompson were never positive, but go on.
Anyway, do you think this is a blessing with Fernandez, that he will have to wind his neck in a wee bit? Because the buck stops with Tony. I mean, he can...
Yeah.
Mark Hughes should never be allowed to get... before we go into that, I've got one story. Sorry, I was told this, and they can sue me if they want. I don't care, because it's Fraser's podcast as far as I'm concerned.
This week it's Fraser's podcast when you say that.
Hello, David Fraser, I can do the accent. Anyway, Adele was at training, and one of the super agents walked up to him and said, I'm your agent. And he's like, I think you'll find you're not. I have one of them. If you want 65 grand a week, I am. Okay, you're my agent. The next week he was on 65 grand a week. That was what's wrong with the football club. Yeah. Stupid people coming in and absolutely ripping it. Mike Rigg, Mark Hughes, Redknapp, a lot of them all walked away and left us as usual.
But they were allowed to do it, as everyone knows.
Have been.
They should never have been.
I remember when Rennie was going, and you know as well, when Rennie was going to the Scum, Tony was like, I've played FIFA with him. It's all grand. He's going to stay.
But the problem is, but the thing is, I'm going on about kind of, it's because you think about behaviours. You think about Fernandez has got this desperate need to be loved. Mm-hmm. So his natural behaviour in any kind of public forum is he wants positive feedback constantly. God knows what went on in his childhood, but there's that need for him to be of permanent positive stroking. That's all he needs. So he just wants to do anything to make himself loved. What was going on there when you've got Hughes and the behaviour of that particular era was just lack of accountability. And if you've got that going on and you've got no one actually prepared to stand up and say, this actually is not okay. This isn't how we do things.
Well, he basically didn't have a clue what he
There's
was
no-
doing.
they
He
just
just
made it up
thought,
as they
I
went
found
along."
someone who knows what they're doing. Great, they're all, and we'll just keep going with that
They
without.
just absolutely took advantage, and we know that. We don't have to go over that in terms of history, but it's just. But I fear with Fernandes is that I don't know. He needs some help. Bless his heart. He needs someone to actually help him, not around his. I'm sure he's made some very sensible business decisions and he's invested in his airline and all fine. But I think he just needs someone to be able to sit down and talk to him and say, you really need to think through some of your decision making. You really need to think about how this comes across. You are a serious businessman and you're acting very, very basically childishly. He needs to have a bit of an adult about him rather than a stroppy 16-year-old.
You do wonder why someone has not gone up to him and said, just please stay off Twitter.
Surely.
I think they have.
Just please
It
stay off
just
Twitter.
Can't help himself.
You know,
Can't help himself.
He's a child in a candy
He
shop.
absolutely is a
cannot,
child.
Yep, absolutely.
I think the telling thing is, I remember when we got Mike Rigg in, and he came out and said, this is the best signing this club will ever make, or I'll stand by or I'll resign, sort of thing. And, yeah, someone might have been around at the time and said, by the way, Mike Rigg hasn't got the experience that you think he is. He's not the person you think he is. But I think Tony tried to do football differently. I mean, there's a lot of stuff said about him on Twitter, which is kind of really nasty, and I don't think that's right. I mean, I'm not here to defend Fernandes in any shape or form,
He
but
always wanted to do the right thing. He always
Yeah.
wanted the club to do well for his
Put the
own
heart in the right
purpose
place,
or
but it's
other
just-
people's. He didn't set out
no,
to
of
be
course
in
not.
this situation, regardless of his motive.
Sonny's got the nail on the head. He just wants to be loved. Now, my take on it is, this is the last I'll say in this, is as long as the board stand by the club, learn from this,
Yeah.
stop saying lessons learned, actually show that lessons have been learned, which I think they will. I mean, we've got sod your Bossingers, sod all them lot of mercenaries. I'd rather have Scowen, I'd rather have Freeman, I'd rather have these players any day of the week. And I'd even, to some extent, like the development of someone like young Manning. You know, someone that we can bring in from non-league in Ireland and improve. And that's what the QPR was always about. And we can identify with that more. And that's the QPR that we should always have. And I think people shouldn't get on Fernandes' back. If he stands by us and helps us through it, then we should help him. As long as he doesn't turn around and say, and people do, the fans' fault, because the fans had no say in this. It's not our fault. We didn't say buy this player. We didn't want Cisse. We didn't want Basingo.
But we did all think, oh, great, somebody's spending all this
Yeah.
money and getting us all these players.
Oh,
And we're going to be. I mean, we
We
did
were
all think.
absolutely loving it. At
We
the
did
time.
love the
Let's
fact that-
be fair.
I've got to be honest, I wasn't that keen on Barton when he came
Although,
in.
if you know, don't
Let's not
start,
start, please.
Oh,
please,
yeah.
I can't mention
Moving
him.
on
Let's not
swiftly.
even
Hello,
go there.
Has anyone seen that thing today where he absolutely ripped David Unsworth apart?
My God. It popped up on my, because I clearly don't follow Barton. It appeared on my timeline and I just, intake a breath, unbelievable.
I bet David
What, he
Unsworth
put
knew
his-
that was coming. See what I did there? I bet.
Oh.
He replied in the best way
Just-
possible, Unsworth, and just said, I just don't care.
Let's
he
not
had to-
waste valuable airtime
Yes,
talking
please.
about.
But am I still the only
individual.
person that reckons Stewie had money himself being sent off at Man City?
Yes,
Definitely.
Probably.
of course he did.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
And yet he thinks that other people aren't qualified to manage football teams.
We finished talking about Saturday. Let's get off
Sorry.
the
All right, so FFP, as long as the club stand by the board stand by the club, no more excuses. Learn your lessons. Stop saying you've learned your lessons, and more importantly, win some games Saturday. As Jim has said, sorry, Mark, I'll come back to you in a second. I will come back to you, I promise, because I know you're desperate there. You got your fingers pointing, which is good to see. Someone come to the podcast with finger pointing. From the first minute in their faces to the last seconds, we haven't done that for so long. Mark, I think you might want to come in here.
I actually thought the two teams, until we scored, cancelled each other out a little bit, and it wasn't.
Oh, do you think so?
It wasn't very open. It was chances were at a premium. They didn't really come into the game actually until we scored the goal. Obviously, they equalised straight away. But I'd just like to really, Jack Robinson, I think this season, I'm such a massive fan of his performances at the moment. It's just the injury problems he's had
His
over
hand
the last
looked
4
painful.
years.
I kept thinking, oh God, I hope the ball isn't going to hit that
I know.
bandage.
Oh,
The boy has barely played any football in
No.
4 years since we
did very
brought him
well.
in, and it's obvious that left wing back. He's obviously a centre half. Let's be honest. I mean, the way he's playing is out of his skin at the moment. He's one of our better players.
He was very fit too, given
Yeah.
his lack
do you think
of...
how much he was getting
He's got an
slagged off a
absolute
few?
wand of a left peg, and I just think his performances unbelievable considering what he's been through the last 4 years. And
Am I the only person that can't believe we're not singing Mrs. Robinson, Adam? Is that too obvious for a song?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Carry on.
No, that's,
Nobody will know what it. Nobody will know what it is.
Oh, you sound like Fraser. Anyone under 25, that was a song back in the 70s.
I remember it.
I
but
remember.
Yeah.
most people.
And it was brought back in the 90s by the Lemonheads. You know. Anyway, Mark.
Yeah, I mean, just to finish off, obviously,
Random,
like,
but yes.
we were good. Second half, we took the game to them. I mean, they had a few chances. Could have gone either way, probably, but I think our endeavour and the chances we created second half, and we just about shaded it. And
The only
it was
thing is-
absolutely fantastic.
The only thing about Robinson is lucky to stay on the pitch. I seen it back on TV. We all thought your man dived. Meh.
It was a long way from us, and I thought, no, of
I
course
thought it
not.
was definitely a dive.
I thought it was a dive. We
That
all
was
said
my
it was a
instant
dive.
reaction
Instant
was-
reaction was dive.
We're not biased to partisan by any chance. And then you saw it back on TV. My mate said, "Watch it." I got a text straight away.
yeah.
Watch it back on TV, Finn. It's because I'm going cheating, so and so. This is outrageous behaviour. It's like, nah, he's lucky.
Doesn't matter now.
But it's good.
Can't change it.
But that just shows you
The
if-
ref did help that game, actually. I
Did,
agreed
yeah.
with Clive's column this week about it, because I do think he let lots of things go and it made the game so much better.
Although their
to
number
watch.
6
Yeah.
should have been sent off. He was
Oh,
outrageous.
God, he was
God,
actually
he was just-
really irritating me.
Who was he anyway?
Oh, God knows.
Who is he? I don't know.
Who cares? It's just annoying.
He was
Just
annoying.
He should have gone off. I
He-
couldn't
yes,
believe he stayed on.
Drove me mad.
Some of the tackles he was doing was pretty
Yeah.
severe.
Yes.
Well, I think he got a bit wound up, didn't he? And that, he was just hideous. But we were almost when we went 2-1 up, we all sat around going, yeah, we'll settle for a point.
Who was the fight? There was a fight that started. Who was involved in that towards the end of the second half? It kicked off a bit and then it stopped. I can't remember who was involved. And I just thought, it's going to be a
Someone's
red
gonna get
card
sent
moment.
off.
But then it passed.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Okay.
Yes.
We kept the cool heads after we scored
Yeah.
was absolutely great. You know, even in injury time.
5
you know,
minutes. Oh God, I was stressing.
Oh, it was, as I say, and we were just looking at each other at the back of the
Oh,
people,
my
going,
God.
we need this. We need this.
I think
Looking at
that
each other.
that's
going,
one thing actually between the teams, because they marked us hard. I mean, it wasn't like we had space at
That's
all.
true.
And so you can't say they didn't play well. They did. But our team wanted that win more.
Yeah.
That was, I think,
Yeah.
really probably the difference between the two teams, is who wanted it more at the end. And when we had gone 2-1 up, you just felt they didn't look like they believed, actually, that I think they could still win at that point, whereas we were still throwing ourselves.
I actually think they lost their belief after they missed that sitter. In
Oh,
the second half,
hilarious.
they just the fight went out of them after that, and then Smith came on, and they just did not know how to deal with him. He
I do
caused
love Matt
complete
Smith.
havoc.
I'm such a fan.
look
I
at the
love
goal
him.
crush.
And even when he's standing there and
His
he's
bald patch is
huffing
back.
and puffing, and I look at him, and every time he's run, he's standing there trying to get his breath, and he's struggling
He
with
did
the
look a
running.
bit
and
out of it,
he
didn't he?
always looks so like he's.
He
calm.
took a lot of punishment as well.
but
Yeah,
but he's
6.
just brilliant.
But what I liked about Saturday was
Bald patch, though.
Has he got a ball patch?
At the last season, he had a ball patch, and then
And the
first
second-
game of the season, we
Has he
looked
had a
and we was like,
transplant?
there was some because it was gone, but now it's back.
Well, do you know what? As he hands a bottle looking over, I thought it was interesting because Bidwell had his best game, Robinson had his best game. Lynch surprised me in how well he was organising everyone, and also he was blocking everything that came at him, doing what you kind of think, oh, I see why we got you now. You could actually see. But the most impressive display had to be Scan. I mean, I know we didn't get man of the match in so many ways because Freeman just ran that midfield well, but the tackles he was making, he was breaking them down. They could not cope with the fact that he was in the face, he was breaking them down, so they reverted to kicking him. And the ball that we were playing out, and then Pavel came on and put that. I know he didn't put the cross in, but he put the ball in and the cross comes in. Who put the cross in? It
What, for
was-
Smith?
Yeah.
Bidwell
Joel
put-
Lynch.
Yeah, Bidwell did the
Lynch.
first one, and then Lynch
Going
did
back
the
to
second
my point,
one.
I thought it was
Yeah.
I'm finding that this toasting log is easy, and you're kind of thinking they're the players we brought. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We can actually see why they've come to the club, what they can do, and it's not. What I don't want, I'll be honest with you, is if we lose tomorrow night, is to hear the boos again and the jeers and the misery, because the lads have shown that they can do it. It's just going to be one of them seasons where it's going to be maybe one good game, one bad game, whatever. We're still finding our feet. And it's us against the Football League and everyone else. And we've got to stay united and stop all the nonsense and arguing on Twitter all the time with everyone. And just try and get behind everyone and go through this period. So then I know no one wants to hear it, but promotion is going to be a way. It's going to be a dream for a few seasons, especially with this fine hangovers. We might as well just try and enjoy what we've
Just got to stay up. That's
Stay
all.
up, yeah.
I think we
have
need to
got
just like look
do.
at the expectations at the start of the season and look at where we're at now as a club and a football team. This is a decent football team. They've got the ability to beat anyone in a day, especially at home. We're going to be difficult to beat at home, which is what we weren't last season. Last season at home was not acceptable.
Yeah.
It just wasn't acceptable. That's one thing we don't accept is home performances like last year, Brentford, Newcastle. They were shocking.
Neil, our
And-
QPR engineer, just more or less put his head in his hands. Yes.
I think, but also,
You
when we're the whole thing about supporting the team, because there's a guy that's a few rows behind us, and every week he's slagging
You've
the
just
team
given your
off.
seat number right, by the way. Just good luck with that
That's
one.
okay. Well, I think everyone knows that we know who it is. It's fine. But he was ranting at half time as he disappeared off down the stairs, and it's almost like there's almost that sense of disappointment that we actually won.
No.
Well, I just don't get it. I don't get. And he was going on about, God, Holloway, take your effing circus and F off, and it was, you just think, oh, give me strength.
And replace it with
Exactly, and you just go, oh, people really, and I'm thinking, when it's 5 minutes to go, I was kind of half expecting something from behind, and it was very quiet. But that's all we need, just to be people to be supportive. How difficult
And sensible.
Is it? Oh, good heavens!
Bit of sense, it's not hard.
But do you think the fan base somewhat changed when we got the money, Gemma?
Oh, it definitely did, because there were people who appeared who are not around anymore in that club. I mean, there definitely were a lot of people who suddenly appeared.
Dave was saying that about on Saturday, about the crowd on Saturday. He was saying there's some lot of random people. It felt like a very different crowd on Saturday.
What, in the pub?
No, outside when he was selling his kick up the
It
arse.
was a lot busier than it has been in recent
Yeah, it
weeks.
just seems. He said
I think
just
there's quite a
different
lot
vibe.
of Wolves fans based in London, people who live in London, and there were around me. There were a few people who came who were actually
Yeah.
Wolves fans
We had a
sitting in
Wolves
our
friend.
end. We had a few around us. and,
Oh, did you? Right.
yes.
We had fun.
Yes, which
when we
was very
scored.
enjoyable.
Poor
Extremely
guy
enjoyable.
got bundled.
Do you know the weirdest thing? Do you know what my memory of the Premier League is, and then we'll go on about tomorrow night. Is when we were home to Chelsea, the Fabregas game.
Yes.
Fella in front of me, he has a scarf in my face. It's a Chelsea badge. It's half and half scarf. I was going ballistic. He's going, "It's all right, mate. I'm QPR. I've been all my life." And I went, "There's no way. There is absolutely no way in God's great earth that you are a QPR fan wearing that."
Half and half. scarf.
Yeah, and having the Chelsea bit round your neck. Seriously,
Oh, dear.
Neil, it's true.
Oh, dear.
And I was pointing them out. I wasn't being aggressive, and I wasn't being actually maybe a little bit, but never mind. Not
What's
aggressive.
worse? What's worse than the half and half scarf? Are clappers worse than the half and half
Oh,
scarf?
them things.
They are doing my head in.
I call
What was
them
it?
the
Was it
Fulham fans.
Leicester? Leicester.
yes.
Oh
they all
my
did it.
God.
The Sheffield Derby, they had it the other week. It's this new thing, and then of course they did it yesterday for Birmingham and Villa, and most of them ended up on the pitch or on someone's head. And it's,
missed that.
it's just it's just if we go down the road of getting clappers, it means
It's never going to happen.
No.
We don't need to worry
We don't
about that.
need
It won't happen.
But talking about atmosphere, which we weren't, but we will now, it just shows you on Saturday the atmosphere in adversity comes the
yes.
best atmosphere.
That, I think
I've
for maybe
seen.
it brings everybody together a bit in that, although there's still going to be the whingy
You always
moaners,
have a whingy guy.
Actually, everybody just realises we've just got to hope that we all hang on together and nothing. We're stuck with it now.
But I did feel that at half time, because when they were doing the Forever Ours and when Clark Carlisle did his little speech, I think it just actually lifted everybody. I do feel that there was definitely a different vibe in the second half in any case.
No, good point.
But actually, just listening to him and just listening to his story, and I blubber the slightest thing, but I was really holding it together. But I think everyone felt really differently afterwards, and I don't know if it was that, and then we just came out, and it just seemed a lot more focused, a lot more determined.
I guess in that instance, what you're talking about is a guy who's tried to kill himself in front of a truck, and you realise that here we are listening
Yeah.
to people moan about a football match.
Yeah.
And perspective. It's like Stevie Wicks when he came on the pitch and he said, I always look for QPR scores and this, that, and the other
I didn't
thing.
believe him, I have to say.
Oh, Cindy.
Oh.
Really? He's
I
one of my
didn't.
favourite players. You
Huh?
You can't come on the podcast and say that. He's one of my favourites.
What's he with?
Yeah.
I
He was
didn't
mine
kind
when
of.
I was young.
No, I just didn't. I know when he said, "Oh, I thought, oh, really?"
This is more controversial than I thought was going to happen.
Cindy, it's
tonight.
like you've just said a bad thing about Connor Washington to finish.
Oh my God!
Can we get to the chase this Connor Washington thing, right?
Fanboy.
You love him.
No, I am an admirer of his play and his ability.
Will
See,
he get
has
you a
helped me to
ticket?
accept that I just have to put my head down and accept him because I really am
Yes,
not. I
we're
have
not-
really
going
not
nowhere,
a fan.
Gemma.
I feel sorry for him. I like his effort, but I just don't think he's very good. But now I realise I've got no choice and I just have to accept.
Paul just wants a ticket for Basel. That's all this is about.
Yeah. If anybody could help, there's myself and Alan. Alan's a lovely fella. There's this
He's lovely.
season ticket holder, comes down with his son, watches the games, and we're going to Basel, and we're going to have a lovely time. Of course
Without
we are.
tickets.
Without tickets. So I've used every contact I have. In fact, I haven't got that many. If I be honest with it, it's like,
What, you, celebrity fan?
oh, don't start that fucking nonsense. Jesus. I'd laugh at that nonsense. I'm driving the van, right? I'm doing the bins, I'm covered in shade, and I'm thinking, this celebrity lark isn't what it's cracked up to be. It's absolutely... But yeah, but Washington... But interestingly, we played Washington on Saturday High, Northern Ireland playing. Straight down the middle, chasing things. And I wish I'd have put a fiver on for him to score the first goal, like my head was telling me before the game started. Just put a fiver on Washington, because it's now or never for him.
Yeah.
And the same for Silla. I mean... I'm
I've
so
got more
frustrated.
hope for Washington actually than I do for Silla, I'm afraid.
I want Stella to
I
succeed
want, of
so
course, so
badly.
do everyone does,
We
but
all
then he
do,
stopped. You
but-
see him stop, and I'm thinking, stopping.
We chased the defender you're talking about, aren't you? A few times he stopped.
Actually,
Yes.
I thought his work rate was actually quite good on Saturday and has been.
It
in
was the
recent
first
weeks.
half, but then he just
Second half.
Do you think so?
disappeared.
Yeah, he does drop off. It's his concentration levels more than anything, not anything to do with he
Yeah.
doesn't want to work. I think his concentration
He
just
gets very,
lapses.
yeah,
I can relate
very
to that. My
easily
He
concentration
slows
distracted.
down.
goes
You know, maybe we
to-
should give him a coffee at half time.
Yeah.
I think. Do you think it's because we played obviously in the French league and everything is not so physical? He's struggling with the physicality of this league.
He still doesn't look like a championship player when you watch him play. He does
Okay.
look absolutely to me like he has to come from.
And what's happened to
Absolutely.
Yenny?
I don't know what's
Saw him running up and down.
I mean, who have we got?
Warming up,
We've got
but that was
Yenny.
it.
We've got
Mackie on the bench.
Mackie on the
Mackie.
bench.
God bless Mackie. Loves the club. Yeah. You know, and to be fair, Mackie does try. I mean, if you could put his passion into any of them players, we'd have a completely different side. The Ariel, we've got him.
God, he's vanished, hasn't he?
Yeah, so you still got players that can
Forgot
still
all about
come in and
him.
maybe do something if they get a lifeline. And I'm kind of
When's
hoping.
Hall back, by the way, and how's that all going to
quite
work
a long way
now?
off.
Yeah.
Because he was playing last week, wasn't
I
he?
think he came back too early.
It's a tendonitis issue. I think it's knee. Don't quote me on that, but I know it's tendonitis.
Just
And
quote it
that
yourself.
is- that is just one of those things that
God.
It was
takes
a
quite a
setback.
while to go away.
Right, tomorrow night, I watched Sheffield United against Leeds on Friday. Hard working side, very well drilled, very well organised. How do we beat them?
I mean, I haven't seen an awful lot of them this season, so I mean, who knows? What we have to do is we just work hard. You know, at home we're competitive, like we have been in every single league game this year. Been competitive. We've been in every game. Been capable of getting something from every game, and you know, it's going to be tough. We just need to keep playing like we did on Saturday. If we can play like we did on Saturday, we've got a chance. You know,
And we need a decent ref.
how many times this season?
And we haven't got one of those.
How many times
tomorrow.
this season have we bumped into a team?
Oh, Jesus.
God,
So go
okay.
on.
How many times this season have we bumped into a team as they're top of the league? I know Wolves weren't top on Saturday, but you know, going into the weekend they were. But it must be the fourth, maybe third or fourth time this season we bumped into a team. Cardiff were top of the league. Sheffield, you know, Wolves going into the weekend. Sheffield United now.
Okay, so it'd be nice to spoil
Luck.
that grid.
I'm going with luck.
Yeah.
As Clive said last week on the pod, you know, it was very, very, very QPR to take 4 from 6, and you know we've got the 3, so.
I was thinking, do I want to win tomorrow? Because what's going to happen? We win. Let's imagine we win tomorrow, then everybody wants to go to Forest on Saturday, and we'll have this massive crowd and huge expectations
And lose
to win,
5-0.
and we'll
Yeah.
lose at Forest. And I'm still desperate to win at Forest on Saturday. I'm thinking, would I take a defeat tomorrow if we could win on Saturday?
That's why I love this club. You don't get Arsenal fans having this conversation, do you? Because it's a crisis if they concede a goal. Or Liverpool fans, or Man U fans. No, QPR fans. Sheffield United at home. Yeah, maybe take a defeat just to win at Forest. I'm kind of hoping.
Desperate to win at Forest.
Do you know what will happen if we ever do beat Forest? It's going to be that the River Trent's going to overflow and they have to play the county. That'll be the only way we can beat Forest. So every year I went there in the League Cup match, right? And we were decent. That's when Ardelius was playing. And I thought, you know what? We could actually do this. They weren't doing that well, I don't think. 5-2. Do you know what I mean? I was there for Nigel Clough's fastest ever hat trick. I was.
It's you.
The 5-0.
You're not going on Saturday.
Yeah, it's just we're not. It's not even that we can't win there. We're fucking cursed.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That place is a curse. We need to get someone like Barry Friday to go and piss in 4 directions of the ground and sneak in the middle of the night.
That worked.
Yeah. Anyway.
I actually think we've got more chance of winning Saturday than we have tomorrow. I mean, that's not me being pessimistic, because generally I've got a more optimistic view of QPR. And
Got your happy
I like to
hat
keep it.
on.
Yeah, I'm delighted with the way it's going. At the
No
moment,
one ever to me.
you know, as I say, like the improvement on last season is tenfold. That is just fact. The results don't show how much better we are this season when we were last season.
But then.
And
But then also we've also got the good plus thing. If you got like Wheeler, you got Smith, you got the wee man at Wickham.
Absolutely.
You got these youngsters that could maybe come through, that maybe will do it. And
then
I
when-
mean, good things about all them guys.
when Corker goes next season, I mean, he's had his troubles, but we need his wages off the wage bill ASAP. And once he goes, he's going to free up 60k a week. We're not going to just spend that money. But, it gives us some options, especially.
lawyers' fees.
Well, yeah,
Will it
but
give
you'd
us
hope that'd be
options?
coming out of Tony's pocket. To be honest with
To
you,
be honest, I think if you get Hall back, it depends what they do with New. I don't know whether they're going to keep him on or not. But Lynch, judging by what they've done so far with Freeman and Scan, I would put faith in the scouting system to bring someone else in, maybe on cheaper wages, but more hungrier. Not that I'm saying they're not hungry. I am actually saying I just contradict myself. But what I was seeing with Freeman and Scan gives me great hope for the future, because whatever we did with them two guys, we're doing it right. And even Smith, if we put the crosses into him, I mean, he is like a monster in the air.
I'll tell you what we need. We need a couple of wing backs that can actually play the position. Pavel's great. I do like Pavel. I'm kind of glad that he got dropped, because his performances have been waning recently. So, and he did get dropped. He tried something else. And Bidwell's a 6 out of 10 every week. And he's not a wing back. So if we get a couple of decent wing backs that can do that and give us the width, then
I'm just pleased that people like Robinson are coming through.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. And if he carries on like that, it'll be immense, because Sheffield United play the same system that we're going to play. So it's going to be an interesting matchup tomorrow night. But
And no Lynch.
yeah, who's going to come in?
Yeah, I just realised that. I saw that earlier today. I didn't realise he'd been suspended.
Well, Coker can't play because he clearly hasn't played for weeks.
God,
He's
no.
not fit.
Please no.
That's going to be interesting.
it's going to be Ollie Tombola time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Is
It will be.
Who do we bring in then? Oh dear, everyone's thinking.
Furlong?
3.
Yeah,
back,
dear.
back 3. No, he's not strong.
Well, Baptiste, his performances have been not decent. He's been sort of solid at the back, but you've got Baptiste, Robinson, and one more.
So you could go 4 at the back then.
Yeah.
Maybe you have to.
Yeah.
Because bring Furlong in or play Pavel at right back. To be fair,
I'm going for the fact we'll lose tomorrow. No, I've just remembered that.
just-
So
Do
let's
you know what?
concentrate
let's
on
just
that.
accept that.
Thinking about it, even what I said the other day, yes, and all right, your training journey, we know about your training journey. I'm thinking, just me, Cousins could actually do a right back role. Even I'll take back everything I said.
Ooh.
before.
Good, he's
God,
athletic. He's athletic
After you
enough.
slagged him off on
I
Saturday.
did not slag him off. I said he has been injured. It's a really risky play against Wolves, but I am not the genius that Holloway is, obviously. So there you go. Right, so we'll do Forest quickly, then we'll do ours out, because I can see Neil is kind of like freaking out here because we're going well over the time.
I'm going to have to sit in the train and just listen and be late for work.
Hang on, what
You see, I never get to the end if we go over 50 minutes.
don't you?
No. Because exactly that. I never do anything in my life that seems to take longer than about 45 minutes, and if you get beyond 50, you lose me, and my concentration isn't good at all.
I want to be with you when Armageddon comes. Right, Forest away.
Oh.
We'll just cover this quickly.
Yep. I'll be
Not
there.
that quick.
Yes.
That was a bit
We'll
too
be there.
quick. Your prediction, how you think it might go?
I think it's got to end at some point. It has to. I'm trying. This season I've been optimistic from the start. And the team have paid me back with some good results and some good performances, and I'm happy at this point of the season. And it's got to end at some point. We'll go there. Hopefully the crowd will be good. hopefully we'll get behind the lads, and all you can hope is to be playing. If we can play like we did Saturday, then yeah, we've got a shot.
Gemma.
I think we'll lose 2-1.
15 minutes and she turns into Mrs. Misery. Right.
Heart says 2-1 will win. Head says draw.
Right, back to me. I'm thinking QPR doing what QPR do best is we're going to go there and we won't just take the record, we will smash it. I'm going for 0-0. I just look. I'm not.
Just checking what's in that cider.
I'm trying reverse psychology like I did on Saturday by saying Cousins can't do that role, and clearly he did. So I'm saying draw, but I really mean we're going to stuff them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm trying this reverse. So everyone get to Forest this Saturday. Get behind the lads that count the ground because we're going to break that hoodoo. We're going to smash it, and if we don't, well, blame Mark because he said we'll win. Anyway, right, ours end. Mark.
Ours end. Nothing much to say really. Just. Everyone just needs to be positive, keep cool heads at this time. Like we've had a good win, we need to carry it on now. The team needs to be playing. They've been playing consistently well over the course of the season. There's been some bad spots, but just keep sensible heads, cool heads, and we're going to be absolutely fine.
After 50 minutes, is Jenna still in the room?
Yeah, no, I won't add to the 50 minutes except say I'm looking forward to Villa.
Aren't we all?
Why is that in, Gemma?
Bring your coin.
Certain number 26.
He's going to bottle it. He's going to have a mystery. He's going to have a mystery injury. He's not going to turn up for that. My Isles End actually is. I've got something sensible to say.
Hang on a second.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah, I'm
Gemma.
finished. I'm not adding to the 57
Sorry,
minutes. I've ever had.
I'm sitting. The train is now going back the other way from my commute. John McCook's pub, I think, closed this weekend.
That's
So
really sad.
it's just very sad. The Good Ship in Kilburn. So I'm not sure what John's going to do next. But
Got a new venue, I believe.
oh, has he? That's
Yeah.
good news. But just to say, that's a great venue. Very sad to see it go. And good luck to John.
Yeah, agreed. He sits near me in the P block, so I see him most games, and I had 21st birthday there, 10 odd years ago now. So good luck, John.
It's really sad because yet another music venue back to
Yeah.
dust and comic venue as well. And to be fair, thank you, John, for everything you've done for this podcast because you've given us a venue and you've treated us really well. And I'm very sorry that we can't help in any way to save you, but obviously the decision's been made. But whatever you do, John, I hope QPR fans follow you and help you in your new ventures. My Oz end is a kind of a weird one, as usual. I'm only going to make 1 point. And that is,
Shock horror.
in my time as being a fan of Queen's Park Rangers Football Club, we've had everything thrown at us. We've had mergers. We have had the ridiculous name change. We've had people even talking about moving us up to the M1 and become MK Rangers. And people also say that the Football League are a very sympathetic lot. Tell that to Luton and Portsmouth and Wimbledon. They may not believe you. My Oz end is, whatever happens, we have got to stand by this football club. We have no choice. This is our place of dreams. It's where we go, where we belong, who we are. And it doesn't matter if it's a football league. It doesn't matter who's trying to kill us or punish us for breaking the rules badly or whatever. Stay with it. That's all we got to do. It's QPR, for God's sake. If anyone can do anything stupidly, it is us. And I just hope that when we come out the other side of this, there's a bit more unity amongst the fan base because sometimes it doesn't feel like we're all pulling the same way sometimes, and we should be because it's us against the world, and to keep the infighting going, it's just ludicrous. Get to Forest, sing your heart out tomorrow night because, as it showed on Saturday, when people say who creates the atmosphere, is it the players, is it the fans? Do you know what? It's both. Mark, thank you so much for coming into the podcast.
Paul. Thank you for having me.
You're more than, come on again. Excellent. Gemma, as always, you've come on and you've filled the place with laughter and immense wonderfulness. And I'm sorry I went past 15 minutes and now you're switched off.
I need to. Yeah, thank you.
You need a reboot, don't you?
Yeah, I need to read.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But thank you for coming down and coming
Thank you.
on. Cindy, it's always a pleasure to see you. It really is. And thank you for, don't put the sarcastic face, I'm being serious.
Bless your heart.
Yes, that. Yeah, bless you. That people say that, it always means something else. But thank you for coming on.
Oh, pleasure.
I really appreciate it. This has been Open All Hours. We are the QPR podcast. Please keep listening. We do appreciate you following us and your support. Thank you. Come on, you R's.
QPR, Queen's Park Rangers are on the up and up. are.